Good morning, everybody from Santa Barbara. This is Pat Lindquist, and I want to share an update on Napili Bay and Beach Foundation from a couple of days ago. We had technical difficulties in Maui, and so I have recorded this to bring you all up to speed. So let me share my screen. There we go. Sorry that took so long. So this is the report and an update that I prepared for May 3rd at Napili Shores. I hope to share it more widely than that now that it's on tape. Here's what we've been working on this year. Maintaining the new beach path and stairs. Also getting beach restoration plans and actions in place, which include beach certification. And I'll tell you more about that. Removing more hard structures. I'll tell you more about all of these things. Beach dune restoration plans and reef restoration plans. Then funding to get the work done. So maintaining the new stairs and path to the beach. An owner at Napili Surf has helped with this, definitely. They donated $1,000 to hire Cutting Edge to mow, clean up the areas around the new stairs and beach path. Before we even did that, they went down and cleared out a tent, a mattress, other goodies post-construction that hadn't been cleared off. They helped us buy native plants for the area, and they planted several hundred plants to fill in and keep weeds down. These are native plants designed to hold the soil and hold the sand and keep the weeds down. Needless to say, we love that kind of help. And I'm going to add here, the reason the owners connected up with us is that a couple here at Napili Shores, owners here at Napili Shores, knew them and knew us. So community connections at work, all good. Here are some of the keiki plants. You may or may not have seen them while you're on site. She even made some little plant stakes for us, which is amazing. You can see these. This is pohinahina, I believe, and we've planted pohinahina, pohuihui, and aki grasses in various places all around this headland. Hopefully fill in and keep the weeds down and hold sand and the soil in place. Beach plans, where are we now? For the permits to be filed, the essential next step is beach certification. In order to get there, we have removed all plant encroachments in Q1. Hopefully they haven't grown back. Encroaching means they are onto the state beach. And when that happens, then you have to clear them back to your property line. And surveyor now is scheduled for mid-June. That's been difficult to get just because of all the turmoil with the fire and so forth. The remaining certification issue that we are aware of is that Hale Napili guest access stairs onto the beach are unpermitted. Their EAO doesn't want to move them, and I understand that, but even temporarily doesn't want to move them. So if they're not moved, the DLNR will find them, and our progress on permits will stop. We've offered our help to file a permit like we had for the South Beach stairs, or ways to make them more easily removable and replaceable. So far, no go from them. We've also found that they are going to be liable for thousands of dollars of fines if the stairs are cited as encroaching and they don't remove them. Not a good thing. So here's a picture of those stairs. They used to be just this little bit up here that was on their property line, but now they've had to extend them because of the beach erosion and deflation. And this is the problem. Now, these are not concrete stairs, that's the good news, but they're still encroaching on the beach. What I want to point out here as well, as you can see that in this winter season, there's been undercutting of the Mauians' walkway and short retaining wall. And it may go back as far as under the corner of their building. They are concerned, we are concerned. This is beach erosion at work in a bad way. So we're also working to remove more hard structures, and I'll say a little bit more about that at the end, but I wanted to show these pictures. This is Napili Sunset's beach access path. This is without all this rubble. This is how it looked when I first started going to my parents' place at Napili Sunset in the 80s, early 80s. We could walk off the lawn and right onto the beach, no problem. This is from the 80s, and there was a beach erosion event. I'm not sure what, but you can see the end of the path. The asphalt path is torn out. There's a lot of rubble below it. And at that point, the state came in and said, okay, and put in a concrete path. This is from the 90s, but this is after an erosion event in that situation where, again, waves hitting the hard structure, it erodes it more. And then they put out sandbags, quite a mess. This is a picture I took in 2017, and by now the lawn was about here, so you've got a drop of 4 or 5 feet. That's because of beach erosion and deflation, and it's exacerbated by these hard structures that the waves hit and scour the sand in front of them. By this time, Napili Sunset had also added this piece of revetment. This is a rock revetment like they have on their north building, but this is the south building corner. The next thing is restoring our beach dunes to restore the beach. And why would we do that? Well, permits are available, that's one, and the local residents aren't fighting dune restoration so far. What good is it? The dunes protect the infrastructure behind them, and dune sand is then available to feed the beach. So beach dunes means 10,000 cubic yards, which is 90,000 wheelbarrow loads, or I estimated 1 million kids' wheelbarrow loads. And lovely to start them early, but we're not going to do that. So dune sands feed the beach seasonally. You all know that the beach shifts north to south. That's because the waves originate at the North Pole or from the South Pole, depending on the season. Winter from the north, summer from the south. And what happens then is the dunes get reshaped, if you will, moved down, then they can be pushed back up. And putting plants, native plants in them that are normal for finding on beaches in Maui helps retain the sand. This is called pohui-hui. We've planted it sometimes at our front portion of Napili shores, excuse me. And this is aki-aki grass. Has a long, deep root. Those will be planted up in zone 3, and then in zone 2, zone 1 is kept sandy beach. So how about restoring our reef? What has Napili Bay and Beach Foundation done for Napili's reefs? Well, we started by cleaning up the water by replacing the outlet valve in the desilting basin above Napili. This was in 2012. Some of you will remember this project and remember what it was like before, where multiple times a year the bay was filled with muddy water from storm runoff. We've also had studies done to document amounts and types of fish and corals in the bay. We had the first one done in 2008, then another one done in 2019, establishing a baseline. In Q3 2023, we connected with Reefs for Resilience program. This originated in Ruth Gates' lab in Oahu. They're now in Maui and have done their first project there. I'll tell you more about that next slide. The goal is to work with them on reef restoration with corals of opportunity. These are pieces of corals that have been broken off the main body of the coral organism or colony. And it's easier to get permits to work with them. Getting permits to take pieces off of live coral is very difficult. So, Reefs with Resilience on Maui, right before the fire, they harvested 21 corals of opportunity at Olowalu. Olowalu is considered the mother reef for West Maui, and also it populates Molokai and Lanai's reefs. Their keiki corals do. In November, 102 biopsies from those corals went through a thermal stress test, and February, a second thermal stress test was done. And the great new news, brand new news, is that 500 of these baby corals will be outplanted at Olowalu at the end of May and will be monitored for growth for years to come. The project leader is named Hanalei, and he told me that stress testing means the tank temperatures for these small biopsied pieces are raised slowly from about 77 degrees Fahrenheit to about 89.6 degrees Fahrenheit. They photograph these keiki corals daily and they score them for how resilient they are. And based on how the pieces do, they rank the original coral and they will outplant the most resilient. So here are keiki corals in the lab. This is behind the scenes at Maui Ocean Center. You don't see this. This is the program that they're working on. They're growing up the keiki corals and temperature stressing them. What you can see for baby corals is this, and there are one or two of these tanks as you're about to leave the public area of Maui Ocean Center, and little baby corals are being grown in the tanks. Okay, funding to get the work done. We promised you we would keep our eyes open for appropriate funding. A new National Fish and Wildlife Foundation Coastal Resilience Grant opportunity arose earlier this year, and it included being able, oops, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. It included being able to do beach restoration. So we submitted a pre-proposal, and if we're invited this month to do a full proposal, that will be due in July 2nd. And if we're awarded, the money will be ready by the year end. Probability of success, I would say, is low just based on our last experiences. And that's because Napili isn't considered underprivileged. They're looking at the resorts and saying, you're not underprivileged. But according to new community statistics, 45% of the residential area is considered low income, and we cited that. This grant would cover the costs of permits and a new Wood and Trex public beach access path, which will be ADA compliant. So we will keep you posted. So the funding we need for the rest of this year to complete all permits, we have about 95,000 banked. The shortfall would be about 20,000, which would not include the benthic habitat and reef work. If we wanted to do that as well, which would be ideal, it would be about 80,000 more that we need. So these shortfall numbers are based on cost estimates that we have that were made late last year. All right, let me conclude by saying we're swimming as fast as we can. We love having you swim with us. I realize that in this non-live setting, you may have questions, and I have given you my email here. Please feel free to email me any questions that have arisen or comments from this presentation. And you can also get online to our website, www.napilibayfoundation.org, and you can make a donation. A number of us have made donations monthly, repeating donations, recurring donations, 25 a month, 50 a month. It's making a difference, and we appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I will say aloha.